Episode number 796, The Art and Science of Asking.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you, and where are you?
I am still in Austin this week. I'm not traveling at the moment and enjoying a little bit of time at home. Thanks for asking,
Good.
Priscilla. I'm really excited. I've got two guests on
Uh-huh.
the BNI podcast. The two guests are first Crystal Dwyer Hansen. She's a #1 best-selling author, entrepreneur, certified life coach, and wellness nutrition expert whose personal coaching, speaking, CD, video programs, books, and articles have helped people all over the world. Crystal's expertise is in the field of human potential, and she's co-authored her latest book, Ask, ! Ask, The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny, with her husband, Mark Victor Hansen, who I've known for a number of years, and he's also on this podcast. Of course, you may recognize his name as being one of the world's best-selling authors with the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, which has sold over 500 million books worldwide. Crystal and Mark, welcome to BNI Podcast.
Thank you, Ivan. We're so happy to be here with you both.
And all your team. We love entrepreneurs and good business people.
Well, we have lots of entrepreneurs and good business people, almost 300,000 of them now all around the world. So it's great having you on the podcast. So let me ask you, why did you write the book, Ask?
We wrote Ask because we've traveled around the world, and what we find out, they're great people, good attitude, wonderfully educated, and we've been in 80 countries. And what happens is the difference between somebody who has a little success and vast success is one thing and one only, and that is they know how to ASK to GET what they want. And we discovered there's 3 channels. You got to ask yourself, ask others, and ask God.
Crystal, anything you'd add to that?
Well, I would just say, when we started writing the book, we looked at ourselves. We said, what is that one thing we could help people with? Because people who are smart, talented, and amazing still struggle in their relationships, in their finances, in their health and wellness. And so, we said, look, we've struggled both independently and together through a lot of things in life. So what is that thing? What's that thing that allows us to reinvent ourselves and keep going and transcend our issues and our struggles? And it came down to that ability to be able to ask the right question at the right time in the right way that helped deliver a new solution, a new understanding, a breakthrough, a new idea, or a different plan, and ultimately a new beginning. And it was so exciting to us that we had to share it. We just got super excited about it. And the more we delved into the topic of asking, the more interesting, amazing, and complex it became. So we said we have to write this book. People need this because it's the one way that we could help people help themselves in any area of life.
So I've got an interesting question. At least I think it's interesting, and it's based on one of the books that I wrote about business networking and gender, the difference between men and women, and how they network. And I interviewed 12,000 people, or surveyed 12,000 people for this book. One of the things that we found was that men tended to be probably too direct in the way they dealt with people in networking, and women tended not to ask for the sale as much as men, according to the survey. Would you agree with those results, or do you think that it's off?
I think so. I think men are really bold to ask in some ways, but they're not bold to ask when they have this perception they're going to look foolish. They don't like to ask for directions. They are less likely to ask for a better table at a restaurant.
Interesting.
Something that kind of, I don't know, gets to their self-esteem or makes them feel less powerful. So I think men and women ask in different ways, but I think generally speaking, we're all a little afraid to ask and sometimes that starts in childhood, because if you think about it, depending, on the way you were parented, what your upbringing was. We all start out being these perfect little uncorrupted askers. We're
Mhm.
literally asking for everything and we want it all, right? And we want to know everything: who, what, when, where, why, how. And then depending on, how you were parented, did your parents, say, be quiet, you're asking too many questions, or at school, you're shut down, do not ask until you're called upon. And so much of the time, life sort of shuts us down in that curiosity and that desire to have and to know. And so what we found is often people are standing there as full grown adults. We're standing here afraid to ask anything and sort of ashamed that we don't have all the answers.
Mm.
It's tragic because there's no way any of us will ever have all the answers in this lifetime. So we just love the idea of embracing the art and science of asking, and embracing that childlike curiosity that we were born with. That's what helps us grow and evolve. That's why children grow and evolve so quickly during those years.
Yes, absolutely. Their favorite word is why.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the truth. So, what are some of the main principles of asking?
We have 12 roadblocks to asking. It starts with there's 7 roadblocks go like this. It goes, first of all, a sense of unworthiness, then it's a sense of naivete, then it's a sense of doubt and excusology, then it's fear, then it's pattern paralysis, and last but not least, it's disconnection. And a lot of people would say, well, I have a cell phone, so I'm always connected. No, no, no. Connection is two people together. In sales, it's eyeball to eyeball, belly button to belly button, toenail to toenail. And one of the stories I like best is, you probably know Jim Stovall, and I did the forward to his book, and it made him $100 million in a movie. And he's a guy who went blind when he was going to be a National Football League player. And he said, I now, thanks to Mark Victor Hansen, write books I can't read and make movies I can't watch. So learning how to ask makes you a superstar. So everyone needs to get, we believe, 2 copies of the book, Ivan, and go over it with somebody else at BMI and decide, hey, wait a second, I'm going to ask you these 178 questions. You ask me them. I'm going to find out what my destiny code is, because our subtitle is The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny, because everybody's born with a phenomenal destiny and most people miss it during their life.
So, one of the things we tell BNI members to do is one-to-one meetings where they sit down and talk to another member of BNI. This would actually be a good exercise
Yeah.
for people to do on a one-to-one, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We've got stacks of letters from people that say it changed our life. We've been on podcast with the biggest podcasters in the world. And one of them said, I was looking furiously around my house to find your book. And all of a sudden I go to my 13-year-old daughter and I said, have you seen Mark Victor Hansen and Crystal Dwyer Hansen's book, Ask? And said, oh yeah, I've read every page. It's amazing. And he said, holy cow, give it to me, because I got him on a giant podcast tomorrow with hundreds of thousands of people. You've got to let me have it back, darling. And it's amazing. People read the first story, The Fable of Michaela, which, God bless my wife, it's prophetic dreams that she's got in there. It's now looks like it's becoming a movie. We're under contract and all that. It is amazing. The people that read it say, oh man, you've changed my life. And it has the same essence that I created with Jack Canfield and Chicken Soup for the Soul book.
Yeah. So, any principles that you want to share that an entrepreneur or business person, it might resonate with them in particular?
Yes. I think going back to the 3 channels that we discovered, ask yourself, ask others, and ask God or the divine or universe, whatever, that relationship is for you. But, it's very important as we move through life, because asking is what's going to deliver that next illumination to us. And so the asking yourself part is that reflective journey. And it strikes me how few people do that. You can't know where you're going until you know where you are. And so asking yourself, there are sort of 3 phases to it. Where am I now? And second phase is, where do I want to be? What does that look like? And then in that second phase, really using the power of your imagination, because the problem is when we're embroiled in struggles or turmoil, we only see what's around us. So it's really, using that imagination. So where do I want to be? And getting clear visions of what that looks like. If my career I'm performing perfectly in my career or my job, what does that look like? Who am I meeting with every day? Who are my colleagues? What am I producing every month? How are my clients responding to me? And literally imagining what that looks like and feels like, what those relationships look like and feel like when you're sitting there celebrating a business success. And if you start to imagine those things, ask the questions, then imagine the perfect result, that perfect answers, you can literally engineer your perfect life backwards. And it works for your career, your financial goals, your relationships, and even your health and wellness. It is such a powerful thing when you learn to implement the art and science of asking.
Yeah, and asking with clarity. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but in BNI, members have a chance every week to stand up and say who they are and what they do. And
Nice.
one of the things that I tell them is you got to be crystal clear about at least one element of what you do every week. And over the course of a year, you've given a lot of information, but clarity is key. And asking for what you want is absolutely key if you want to get referrals from people.
Absolutely.
Is there any closing thoughts that you have that you'd like to share about your book? Again, the book is called Ask: The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny.
Well, I just wanted to just reiterate the questions you ask really will determine the outcome of your life. And you honestly don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you ask for. So it's just such an important thing. Do you have anything?
And yeah, we'd love people to go to askthebookclub.com, and we give you a free introduction to how to become a master asker, because as you become a master asker, you become a no limit, fully functioning, self-actualizing superstar. And every one of us is supposed to become a masterpiece in our own lives.
Greg, can you give us that domain one more time?
Askthebookclub.com. Thank
Oh,
you.
no. You know what? Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the old one. Can I correct that? It's
Sure.
thebookask.com.
Okay, that's it. Thebookask.com. Everyone go check that out. And can most of my members get the book on Amazon and at bookstores?
Yep, Amazon and at bookstores, both places. Yes. So
And an audio or whatever form they want, it's there because it's a bestseller, we're thankful to say.
yeah, we would love to hear from them. We love to hear people's stories when they've read the book. It's really fun to see, what they've learned, the illuminations they've gotten from reading it. It's really we've received so many letters, and it's very inspiring to us to hear about their successes.
Well, fantastic. Crystal, Mark, thank you so much for being on BNI Podcast. I appreciate you both. Priscilla, back to you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
loved every
Priscilla.
minute of it.
Thank
Okay, great. Thank you both so much. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioprograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material available to you at MeisnerAudioprograms.com and use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thank you so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.